Diversity was supposed to make us rich, not so much. By James McIntosh of the Wall Street Journal. When management consulting firm McKinsey, McKinsey comes up again. Do you know what? You know where we know McKinsey from? It was that article we covered about 2 months ago about how we need more diversity in things. That followed up from their initial research. By the way, they're also famous for Enron, and not on the good side. Declared in 2015 that it had found a link between profits and executive, racial, and gender diversity. It was a breakthrough. The research was used by investors, lobbyists, and regulators to push for more women and minority groups on boards and to justify investing into companies who appointed them. Unfortunately, the research doesn't show what everyone thought it showed. Big shocker. There are obvious benefits of diverse corporate leadership for society, a diversity of thought, sure, both in providing role models and in showing a commitment to promoting the best people. That's what we need to promote, is the best people, irrespective of skin color or gender. But doing it because it is the right thing is not the same as doing it because it makes more money. Since 2015, the approach has been tested in the fire of the marketplace and failed. Academics have tried to repeat McKinsey's findings and failed, concluding that there is, in fact, no link between profitability and executive diversity. And the methodology of McKinsey's early studies, which helped create the widespread belief that diversity is good for profits, is being questioned. This should be shocking news to everybody. It's being questioned because, as they said earlier, they weren't promoting the best people. They were promoting an identity. They were promoting their skin color, which doesn't help anybody, including the people you promoted. Let's think about the individuals that were promoted into positions they were not skilled for and what that does to them personally. Now, if you are one of those individuals and some guy comes and goes, "Do you want to be CEO?" You're going to say, "Yeah, look at that paycheck." Who's going to blame you for that? But if you are not fit for the job, you're going to affect more than just your company. You're going to affect other people's jobs if you're not skilled. And those other people will be diverse. It'll be everybody. McKinsey has tried to remedy one of the most obvious flaws. It originally links profits over several years with diversity at the end of the period, meaning that most of it could prove is that profitability led to more diversity, not the other way around. In its latest study, it said it had now run the test using diversity as the start of the period and still found a correlation. Of course, they investigated themselves, Chris, and they found themselves not guilty. Okay. But they say, well, we just made an adjustment. That's it. In light of recent study criticizing our methodologies, this is McKinsey, by the way, we have reviewed our research and continue to stand by its findings that diverse leadership teams are associated with higher likelihood of financial outperformance. Okay. Really? There's a beer company that probably disagrees with that. There's a lot of entertainment companies that prove this isn't really working. We have also been clear and consistent to our research that our research identifies correlation, not causation, and that those things are not the same. The trouble is that McKinsey behaves as though the studies do show causation, constantly talking of the corporate benefits of diversity. Even the correlation is in doubt. Academics can't replicate McKinsey's study precisely because it keeps secret the names of the companies it used. Because it's bullshit. Because it's always been bullshit. Let's take it back to, oh God, there's that fucking statue of the little girl in front of the bull.
Oh, I've seen, yeah.
You know what happens to that little girl?
What happened?
She dies if the bull keeps going, okay? So the comic book industry went crazy, went nuts back in 2014 when there was a poll up, when there was a study, a poll, whatever, that asked, are you interested in comics? And it came back, 50-50 split, men and women, they're interested. They didn't ask specific questions. Are you interested in comics? And this is at the height of the MCU. So interest could be, I bought a t-shirt and I like Spider-Man. I bought a pop vinyl. So the comic industry went nuts and said, well, we need 50% women running this. Are that many women interested? No. So they scraped the bottom of the barrel And they started getting rid of the comic creators who had been there for decades, and they started flushing them out. And the comic industry is in shambles right now, completely dominated by manga, completely dominated, because they just thought we need to replace half the men with women without giving it any thought of, are these women good comic creators? Are they good comic editors? How many of them read comics? How many women went to the comic store every week to buy their stack of funny books? How many went once a month? I can tell you, not many. And that has not changed. And the data has proven, especially with movies and stuff, more men than women saw Captain Marvel. More men than women saw the Marvels. More men than women are watching The Acolyte.
Madam Web.
And that is just an entertainment. That is just an entertainment. Now we're trying to have, especially the woman, I forgot her name, who was the marketing executive for Bud Light.
Oh, God.
What a fucking
She's
disaster.
gone, I assume.
She's gone. But a paper published this year finds that McKinsey's methodology doesn't show benefits from diversity for S&P 500 companies for a range of profitable metrics. It isn't the lack of diversity is good for profits either. It's just there's no link. Now, you can read the rest of this article. That's enough. There's no link. It was bullshit.
So merit is probably the best thing. Have you heard that thing, like people are trying to say MEI instead of DEI, where it's about centered on merit? We should go back to that.
That's crazy, Chris. You're a bigot for even bringing that up. Bigot.
It's so obvious to me. It's so obvious. Why is this even a discussion? If you hire people based solely on some attribute and not their talent, you end up with the Acolyte.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.